One of the most important concepts to both medicine and psychology is the ACEs, the adverse childhood experiences. And I did not study this in medical school because the study came out the same year I graduated, 1999. So Vince Felitti was an internist working in California at an obesity clinic. So as he was on people's weight loss journey, one of the things that he was confused about is why people were regaining the weight. And he started just asking more broad questions and found out that the people in his clinic had undergone significant childhood abuse. And this got him very curious to ask, well, how much of the physical conditions that we are seeing are having roots or their root causes within these psychological and social phenomenon. And so he undertook a specific study of 10 different ACEs or adverse childhood experiences. And those 10 weren't necessarily the only things that kids could go through, but they certainly cover a lot of the bases. So there was a big category around abuse or emotional, physical, and sexual abuse, as well as neglect. And so neglect can be going through poverty, not getting your needs met. A lot of it also had to do with witnessing. So witnessing other people in your home going through abuse, witnessing alcohol or substance use, witnessing, strife within the marriage or a parent going to jail. But these 10 things, like he picked 10 out of, his background and his experiences, but it missed some other possible things that a lot of kids can go through, like racism and bullying and, the kinds of traumas that we understand now that we might not have even been talking about 20, 30 years ago. So it wasn't the perfect study tool to be used as a screen for doctors. So if you just take these 10 things and say, hey, let's add up the ACEs, and then we know if this person went through it in childhood, it's not perfect. So it was meant to be a population health study. So it was meant to take 10,000 people from the Kaiser Permanente institution and to ask them what they had gone through, and then to correlate that with their not just mental health, but their physical health and their social health as they grew older. And every single one of those 10 experiences had an exponential increase of every single condition that they studied, which is unheard of in medicine. Like, this is an absolute game changer. It should be correlated to every single organ and system that we study. And what we now understand about the ACEs is that there's also an expanded definition. So Nadine Burke-Harris wrote a wonderful book called The Deepest Well. So even though my book, The Modern Trauma Toolkit, I have a whole chapter on ACEs, I really would recommend that you read The Deepest Well to get a deeper understanding of both the study and what can be practically done about it, because Nadine was the Surgeon General of California, and she does tons of work on not just screening for the ACEs, but treating the kids who've suffered them. So what I think about the ACE study and adverse childhood experiences, I think that it's not necessarily something that we're going to hand the 10-point questionnaire out to the patients to see if they've gone through it. And frankly, if patients Google adverse childhood experiences and they see these exponential increases to all of these poor health outcomes and even life expectancy, they can panic, and that is understandable. But what I want to say is these risks can change. So as much as your nervous system and your body and your immune system are bathed in these stress hormones and changed epigenetically or through your DNA based on not just the trauma that you experienced, but also what your parents went through, you can keep changing it. So our nervous systems are full of neuroplasticity, which is changeability and flexibility. And this is what excites me so much about studying trauma and toxic stress, is to let people know that even if you have a high ACE score, A, it was never meant to be a screening tool. It was meant to be a population health study tool. And B, it's not necessarily your outcomes that the study was proving. Your outcomes can change depending on what you do based on those experiences that you had. And there are so many things that can be done.